If Michael Saylor can be lighthearted under these circumstances and show a little bit of levity, then that means so can you, so can I. No, I don't think he's going back to McDonald's, but important to see that kind of positivity in the space. He's obviously poking fun at himself, very tongue-in-cheek kind of post here. Bitcoin has dipped below $30,000, unfortunately, and the crypto world seems to be bleeding just profusely right now. There are some exceptions, and there is some good news, by the way, that we're going to discuss. I'll be filling in for the news today. But this is in the context of a lot of other downside market pains. We're seeing it in the NASDAQ, for example, which is up today on the day at the time of this recording. But we're taking a look here at the last 3 months. You can see the downward trend the last month here for the S&P 500 and the last month for the Dow Jones. It seems like everything is down. Crypto, traditional stock markets, commodities, and gasoline are probably the only things that are up. We're going to be discussing all of the hot topics, including what Terra LUNA has been doing by cashing in its Bitcoin reserves to help stabilize its stablecoin, something that ought to be stable in the first place. So there are a lot of negatives that we're going to go over, not to sugarcoat anything, but there are some positives as well. There's ETF news, there's investment news. We're going to go over all the latest that you ought to know about in the crypto space, so stay tuned. Welcome to the channel. My name is Matty and this is Altcoin Buzz. We are a crypto investment research company. We have documented many 100x returns on coins and tokens that are top projects today, really before anyone else was even talking about them. And if you want to see our detailed process for researching such projects, then our new and improved Altcoin Buzz Access Group is for you. Our plans start at $99 monthly. Be sure to click the link below for more information. We'll be going over some price activity and some market analysis today, but just keep in mind that officially none of this ought to be considered financial or investment advice. As I mentioned right out of the gate, it's been a bloodbath in the world of cryptocurrency over the course of these last 7 days. We're talking double digit, 20+% downside price action. We're bouncing back a little bit today along with the rest of the markets, but for context, everything is down. I talked about the fact that the NASDAQ, again, up a couple of percentage points today, but really down over the course of the last week and the last several weeks. Same trend is apparent in the S&P 500. Same trend is apparent in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So it seems like a lot of not only the crypto space, but traditional markets are feeling this slump, feeling a lot of rather negativity right now. And as is often the case, whatever is happening in the real world, because we tend to mirror the real world markets a little bit, whatever happens in crypto tends to be exacerbated. And then add to that the fact that you have all this negative news out of Terra recently that's only making things worse. But let's start with a few positives before we delve into those negatives, because there is positive international investment news, believe it or not. And we got to try to, as much as possible, be aware of the silver linings here. Never financial advice, but the truly wealthy, the truly rich recognize opportunities and they buy up assets when blood is running in the street. So it is important to buy low and sell high. Part of that is buying the dip. I'm not suggesting or recommending that you do that, but there are others out there with that mentality. As I mentioned, problems in crypto kind of compound, and when things start going bad, they get really bad. When it rains, it pours kind of thing. So courtesy of Cointelegraph.com, Bitcoin network transactions and fees surge amid investor de-risking. So this is one variable that we're adding to the rest of this storm here. $1.12 billion wiped out in 24 hours. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Terra traders are most affected. We're going to get into the Terra news in just a second, but a little bit more positivity here. We do have some positive things to highlight. By the way, I should mention, if Michael Saylor can be lighthearted under these circumstances and show a little bit of levity, then that means so can you, so can I. No, I don't think he's going back to McDonald's, but important to see that kind of positivity in the space. He's obviously poking fun at himself, very tongue-in-cheek. But with some positive news, we do have El Salvador, like I mentioned, mega investors, whether at the institutional or in this case national level, they're going to be taking advantage of these movements. And here you have El Salvador that is buying the Bitcoin dip. They've just added 500 BTC to their balance sheet, which is very good. So at the time of purchase, that was worth $15.5 million, despite all the calamity that we're seeing in the markets. That is a time to consider investing if it is part of your long-term strategy. And Australia here, courtesy of Watcher.guru, they're going to be listing 2 Bitcoin ETFs and 1 Ethereum ETF on Thursday. So this is positive news that any other week would have probably been major headline news. It's still headline news, don't get me wrong, But it's kind of slipping under the radar here amid all the other negativity, and people are forgetting that good things are still happening. You know, when you have these cascading failures in the crypto space that is so over leveraged, things look bleak, but in the background, positivity is still happening. Investments of this type out of El Salvador, out of Australia rather, this is still happening, and this is good. This is worth celebrating. But the bad news, however, is pretty bad. It's pretty ugly. If you've been following the saga that is the Terra LUNA Stablecoin debacle, you'll know what I'm talking about here. But basically, a stablecoin is supposed to be just that, of course, stable. I mean, it's in the name. And yet they let their peg slip below 70 cents. Despite loan from Bitcoin reserves were on decrypt.co, Terra's UST stablecoin has continued to slip below its dollar peg, and throwing money at the problem has yet to work, has yet to solve the issue. Let's take a look at the price. Terra USD, ticker UST, is below $1 right now. It's actually down 6.9% on the day, but it's at 92 cents. So it's made up some of the ground that it's lost. However, if we take a look at the price charts, you can see that in the last 24 hours, this is unacceptable for a stablecoin. It's hard to say specifically what the problem, what the fault was as far as Terra's management, but this is unacceptable. I won't say unforgivable, but this is unacceptable in the space. You can see that what ought to be a stable $1 asset value slipped to 66.6 cents, mark of the beast, in fact. That is not good. As I said, it's since recovered, but this should be at $1 flat. It's sitting at 92.5 cents currently. So we're talking a major failure on the part of Terra's ecosystem that admittedly we've been very fond of here at Altcoin Buzz. They've been doing a lot of things correctly, but if you're in a position where you're that compromised, where you have to sell your Bitcoin reserves at local lows, at 30 some odd $1,000, that's a problem. And this is something that we're going to have to remind them of going forward really indefinitely to make sure that this kind of thing never repeats. And again, the crypto space is faltering when things are failing, when things are cascading in a downward direction. This kind of news only makes it worse. A major failure on the part of Terra. If you had your funds in Luna and in UST, we're talking about dips of 60 and 40% respectively. Very ugly stuff. Now, reportedly, over 42,000 Bitcoin were moved from Luna's foundation guard wallet as the UST peg crumbled. And this happened at an inopportune time. $31,000 was the price of Bitcoin at the time, I guess, of this publication. Altcoins, of course, selling off and dipping even more rapidly. So $1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin was moved from a wallet tied to the Luna Foundation on Monday, raising questions about its ultimate destination on a day that has seen Bitcoin's price tumble more than 11%. Again, we're fans of Luna. We're fans of everything that they're doing, but if they've overextended themselves, if they've been over leveraged to the extent that these are the actions they have to take, not good. And we want to see them correct that. We're going to hold their feet to the fire until they do. All right, let's pivot into some reasonably positive news here. ThorWallet DEX, they're thrilled to announce that they've partnered with MEXC Global to list TGT. The listing is happening on Friday, the 13th at 2 p.m. UTC. And to celebrate this event, the community can win a total of 2.5 million TGT. If you want to be eligible for this, just follow the instructions here, register, and get a lucky ticket by clicking on the link. Guys, as a reminder, we have an ongoing promotion with MEXC Global. You can check out the link in the description below, but basically we're giving away $124 of value for free. That's $25 in stablecoins in your MEXC account when you sign up. So it can get you started. If you want to buy the dip, perhaps it wouldn't be a bad idea. You're also getting a 1-month trial subscription for free to Altcoin Buzz Access. That's a $99 value. So $99, $25. That's a $124 value that we're giving away. Once again, you can find more information and sign up by clicking the link below. For more information on the ThorWallet DEX, check out the support section at mexc.com. Polygon now is in the news. 0x Polygon, of course, is the handle. Looking to flaunt your NFT collection on Instagram? Well, Meta launches digital collectibles, hashtag powered by Polygon. Select creators and collectors can now showcase their NFTs to a wider audience. If you want to know more about that, click the link. You can also check out this piece on Watch Your Guru. Polygon 92% of MATIC investors are underwater, but here's the silver lining. Let us know, guys, if you're an investor in MATIC, if you're a bag holder. But despite some negative price activity, that NFT news is pretty strong. Again, Meta is making a major foray into Web3, and Polygon will be powering it. We've been working with the Meta Web3 team for months, and they're super excited about everything that's coming. So check that out, guys. If that's your jam, NFTs, Web3, you want to get into this space, maybe you're already in the MATIC ecosystem, the Polygon ecosystem in one form or another, check this out. It may be up your alley. Earlier in the week, we put out a video as to why we're still very much excited about Polkadot, the Polkadot ecosystem, and 4 protocols specifically that we wanted to call out, that we wanted to shine some light on, those being Astar, Akala, Moonriver, and Moonbeam. And we feel there's a lot of potential still left in the Polkadot ecosystem for all kinds of reasons. Check out the video, actually, if you haven't seen that one already. I'll make sure a card is popping up right about now. Also, check out this piece on altcoinbuzz.io. Polkadex wins Parachain Auction 16. Polkadex is a leading decentralized exchange built using Substrate, of course, on the Polkadot network. They just won Parachain slot 16 in an auction. And if you want to get a better sense of why this is important, why we feel it's a big deal, check out this article by Stu. We will link to that in the description below because we are excited about Polkadot. And again, never financial advice, but it may be a good time to add some DOT to your portfolio. Going back, here's just an update related to our earlier story about Terra Luna. So briefly, Binance did halt Luna, that's LUNA withdrawals, as Terra tokens plummeted by 50%. So this was the status at one point, but just in, Binance has resumed Luna and UST withdrawals on the Terra network. So if that's something that was affecting you, there we go, popping back in. If that's something that was affecting you and you weren't able to execute those withdrawals, as of right now, that service has been restored. If you're a football fan, apologies, I'm not. I'd rather watch paint dry, but if you are, maybe this would apply to you. Binance, while we're talking about the exchange, they're sponsoring elite football tournaments in Brazil. They're sponsoring 4 major competitions, including, let's try to pronounce this, Brasileirão Açaí for the next 3 years. I probably butchered that. Let me know what I got wrong in the comments below. But football fans out there, check that out. If you're part of that ecosystem, maybe you're a football fan that uses Binance, it could be something you want to explore further. Important news about Solana. We've been talking about Solana recently. Solana Prime, courtesy of altcoinbuzz.io, is a gateway to the next wave of Web3 projects. And you should be aware, if you're already a fan of Solana, of the project and the ecosystem, that on May 12th, which is coming up in just a couple of days, Solana Prime on May 12th is launching its Prime IDO. So, new projects launching on Solana range from exchanges to wallets, credit logs to digital games. Therefore, Solana Prime is the platform where you're going to find the project's IDO. And on Thursday, the 12th of May, Solana Prime will launch Prime IDO. If this is something you want to explore further, check out this article by Lawrence, again, on altcoinbuzz.io. More info available here on medium.com. You can double your Prime stake with the early contributor staking booster. Also here on Medium, Solana Prime is launching the Prime token. So for more information, check out these articles. Okay, moving right along. I talked before about how there are some bright spots despite all the negative news. And if we go back here to CoinGecko.com, you can see that we're talking double-digit negative percentage losses over the last 7 days. But here's the interesting thing. Keep your eye on this column right here, the 7-day column. If we sort by the 7-day winners, you're actually going to see that Tron, not only is it not down, it's up. It's up by 17% when most other projects are down by about 17%. So how is it that Tron is miraculously, seemingly miraculously, how is it that Tron, ticker TRX, is up 17% given the bloody week that we've had in the rest of the crypto space? Well, for one thing, they're one of these projects that are actively buying up the dip. When you have failures, management failures, in my opinion, in the form of Terra Luna and the foundation that are selling all their reserves at the worst possible time, at yearly lows, they're selling their Bitcoin reserves. You have Tron that I guess was a little bit more financially responsible. They're buying Bitcoin. They're like Australia. They're like El Salvador. Actually, they're buying 500 BTC, which is the same number that El Salvador purchased. So Tron, they're buying 500 Bitcoin for their stablecoin reserve. And for a little bit of context here, Tron recently launched its own algorithmically backed stablecoin, ticker USDD, which it intends to back with a $10 billion reserve. The blockchain is also offering a staggering 30% yield on the token. And so far, they've gathered several notable crypto entities to contribute to the USDD reserve, including Alameda Research and crypto unicorn Amber Group. And while the chain has not disclosed the total value of its reserves, it intends to cap it off at $10 billion. Justin Sun hasn't really been in the news recently, but this is a lot of positivity that somehow he didn't make an announcement regarding an announcement of an upcoming press release announcement. So this kind of just caught us by surprise, but kudos to Tron and the broader Tron team and ecosystem. This is very responsible strategy here, which is very refreshing to see, again, in juxtaposition to some of the other negative news that we've been talking about. And speaking of stable coins, as we now transition into a few rapid fire updates, Cody and GADA, G-A-D-A, they've joined forces as ADA's first stable coin goes live. Cardano right now feeling the pinch, well below $1, and a lot of Cardano and ADA diehards all of a sudden, I think the wind's been taken out of their sails, our sails, because I count myself among them. But here's some positive news. With DJED's involvement, GADA's launch pads will have an appropriate unit for fundraising that is stable. Fantom is also in the news here, the Fantom Foundation at Fantom FDN. The major upgrade, SnapSync, has been activated. SnapSync improves network reliability plus decentralization and maintains network performance even as Fantom rapidly scales. You can learn more at fantom.foundation in the blog section. Guys, check out our dedicated video. We talked about Fantom, what it is, what we like about it, all the pros, all the benefits and advantages that it brings to the table. Fantom is a very cool project in our opinion. Okay, KuCoin, talking about fundraising here, a little bit more positive news to round out the video. KuCoin has raised $150 million. That's been led by Jump Crypto at a $10 billion valuation, and KuCoin intends to use the capital to expand its product lineup, such as crypto wallets and DeFi and NFT platforms. So again, there's some positivity in the day's news. It's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of doom and gloom, but it's not all doom and gloom. Benjamin Minsu over at Elrond with this update. Bitmart Exchange has listed EGLD and integrates the ESDT token standard. This is their newest strategic partner, and they're going to be supporting the development and growth of the Elrond ecosystem by providing exceptional products with funding and access to new markets. You can read more about that on elrond.com. Kudos to Benjamin and the broader team. That's very good news. ECIO.space mainnet feature arrival. This is survival mode. So the survival mode is going to be accessible for all players on the 12th of May, 2022. ECIAN warriors needed to survive the endless waves of hostiles for the longest duration. Be prepared for the battle. Only the strongest will survive. So you can test your mettle if that's something that you choose to participate in. And finally for the day, guys, Enjinstarter with this news. Enjinstarter is welcoming something different. It's a different way to earn while being healthy, a lifestyle app that all ages will need. More details are going to be revealed very soon. Watch out for their next announcement in the days to come to find out more. Follow #MoveToEarn. Not financial advice, guys, but a lot of stuff is down right now. Again, as a reminder, and just to help soften the blow a little bit, we're seeing it in traditional markets. The NASDAQ is down, the S&P 500 is down. The Dow Jones is down. It seems the only thing that's up is the price of gasoline, and I believe diesel hit a new all-time high recently. So things are pretty rough right now. Not financial advice, not ever financial advice, but we do wish you the very best of luck if you choose to invest. If you're still watching and you're not too overwhelmed by the scale and the magnitude and just the weight of all this news, it's been kind of heavy, especially beyond just cryptocurrency, right? The news in the world right now is kind of heavy. But if you've stuck with us here and you haven't done so yet, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications. That way you're up to date, of course, every time we publish new content. Guys, check out these other couple of related videos if you've not already. Stay safe out there, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.